Welcome to another edition of SVSU Red Alert, your weekly update on Saginaw Valley State University athletics. I'm your host, JJ Boehm. The SVSU football team got a much-needed homecoming win over Northwood in the 40th edition of the Axe Bowl. We'll review that with SVSU head football coach Jim Collins, and we'll also get an update on SVSU swimming and diving with their head coach Bruce Zimmerman. That's all ahead on this edition of SVSU Red Alert. Welcome back to SVSU Red Alert. I'm JJ Boehm, joined by SVSU head coach Jim Collins. And Coach, we'll talk about the game in just a moment, but first of all, how good was that celebration feeling at the end of the game when the Axe Trophy presentation is made and SVSU gets to keep the Axe?
Well, JJ, obviously it was a big celebration. It felt great, and then to have the fireworks go off right after that, and the band to play the fight song. Really exciting day for us. We had a great crowd, over 8,000 people, a lot of energy in the stadium. We really appreciate all the support the students and the campus community gave to us on that night.
It really was a very good atmosphere. It usually is for the Axe Bowl. This year was no exception. A 16-14 victory for SVSU. So again, this is historically a close game. This year that proved to be true again.
Absolutely. You know, we talk all the time about that game coming down to the last drive of the game, and I thought we did a really good job defensively of really solidifying it. After we had scored the go-ahead field goal, there was really no threat that they posed because our defense did a great job in stepping up, stopping them on two drives in a row, giving us the ball back in great field position, and then ending the game on their 3-yard line, kneeling it was a great feeling.
And you talk about the defense, really an interesting game because Northwood hit 2 big plays in the passing game, but with the exception of that, they really struggled to move the football.
You know, and you mentioned those two plays, and you know, those were plays that they obviously made. It was a good play by them. We blew the coverage a little bit on both of them. So, you know, we got to learn from that mistake, and obviously we will. But as you said, besides those 2 plays, we did a great job, I thought, all day long of, number one, not allowing big plays or big runs, doing a great job in our option responsibilities, and really forcing their quarterback to make either early throws where people weren't open, putting pressure on him to create tackles for loss and sacks, and errant throws. We got the interception, we got the fumble, we won the turnover battle, so all those things came together defensively for us.
And switching to the other side of the football, obviously you had made a change at quarterback the week prior against Lake Erie, but we knew Tyler Palka could run the football. We'd seen that previously, but I was impressed that he made some good throws, particularly down the field.
You know, there was 3 big throws he made that I thought were really accurate, where we had receivers that were a little open but not wide open. And our guys did a great job of catching the football as well, but I thought he was really poised. On a couple of those throws, you know, there was people in his face. He was feeling the pressure. He stood in the pocket, got the throw out. So those were big plays for us. But the other plays that I thought he did a great job on was on third downs. We had a bunch of third downs where it was 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, and he had to throw a pinpoint accurate pass on time to an open receiver and allow us to move the chains and continue the drive. And that's what you look towards. You look towards a guy that can make the big play when the guy's open down the field, but also to be able to, under pressure, hit those third downs and extend drives.
And then probably his biggest play of the game came on 3rd and 8, where Northwood sends a blitz, and he sees an opening and takes off and runs for a 37-yard touchdown.
It was a heck of a play. And, you know, that's one of the things. You live by the blitz, die by the blitz. And they came with an all-out blitz, man coverage with no safety help. And he saw that opening in the defensive front and took off. And at that point, it was 3rd and 9. You're just hoping he gets the first down. But his speed took over, his athleticism took over, and he raced everyone to the end zone for a big play, and obviously our only touchdown of the game, and an exciting way to start the football game.
And then in the passing game, obviously the number 1 target was Brian Fobbs. You had said going into the game was his first week where he had practiced every day, and so you felt optimistic about his chances, and he really delivered 7 catches, 88 yards.
You know, and those are things we've been looking for all year long, but Brian's been hurt by that ankle injury, hasn't allowed him to practice and develop that connection and that chemistry with the quarterbacks, and as you said, JJ, finally a whole week of practice where he was full go every day. He's as healthy as he's been, and it paid off because he not only made, you know, the big catch on the long throw, from Tyler, but he was our go-to guy in a lot of those third down situations.
And I thought this was a good character test for your team, too, from the standpoint, obviously a 1-6 football team going in, had your share of struggles. You really dominate the first half, but you're only up by 6 points. So then when Northwood gets a touchdown, they go up 14-13, but your team was able to respond, get the go-ahead field goal in the fourth quarter, and ultimately hold on and win.
Great point, JJ, because, when you're winning in those football games and you're feeling that confidence like we were in the first half, I think that's great for your momentum. But to lose it a little bit by them scoring the first touchdown of the second half, it was gut check time. And you could tell on our sidelines. Number one, we've been this type of team all year where we haven't given up. We've shown up for work. We've battled, clawed, scratched, done the things it takes. We just hadn't been as successful as we wanted to be. But once again, you could see the calm on the sidelines in terms of understanding that what we had to do, the task at hand, and the defense got the ball back for us in great field position, and we were able to drive it down and kick that field goal and go ahead. I got on the headsets with Adam Gonzaga, our defensive coordinator. There was about 9 minutes left, and I said, okay, let's stop them now. We've got that lead. And he took the challenge to the defense, and they shut him down.
And we'll get to hear from him a little bit later on here in Red Alert. But again, a situation as well where, as you said, 9 minutes to go. If you've got the lead, you want to be in that position, protecting the lead rather than have to come from behind. But I thought, both sides did a good job in terms of the offense also when they had the ball, not making any turnovers, not making mistakes to give Northwood good field position.
Exactly. We had such good field position that we knew we just had to protect the football and keep the clock running. We didn't want to take any chances, didn't want to give them an opportunity to get good field position or any momentum at all. So I thought we did a good job protecting the football in that situation. The other thing we did, we executed 2 punts where they came with an all-out rush, and we've got a freshman punter that stood in there under pressure. The team did a good job of protecting him. He got a couple great punts off, and we got great coverage, and we're able to pin them on both those occasions inside the 15, which really, you're limited when you've got to go 85 yards and you've got to throw the football. We stacked the box, got after him, pressured the quarterback, and did a great job of just stopping him right there, not even giving him any hope in that situation, just getting the ball back for the offense to finish the game off.
There was that one blocked field goal where Northwood made a good play, but I thought, again, just watching it, this was probably SVSU's most complete effort in terms of offense, defense, and special teams this season.
Without question. You win the turnover battle, you win the kicking game. I thought we did a great job in coverage, made 3 out of 4 field goals. Our returns were decent. I thought our execution in the punt game was really good. So, you look at the kicking game, and then you look at the defensive effort, only giving up 2 big plays, 2 touchdowns to a good offensive team that had been scoring some points, and then offensively not turning it over in key situations, but executing in key situations. The one thing you look at is we settled for field goals. A couple of those times would have liked to have gotten touchdowns, but at the end of the day, we wanted to get points and wanted to make sure we got points, and our defense did a good job of limiting their points, so the 16 held up.
The 16 did hold up, and SVSU wins the Axe Bowl over Northwood, and the Axe handle will remain painted red for another season. When we come back, I'll be joined by SVSU defensive coordinator Adam Gonzaga. That's next on SVSU Red Alert.
This week's Spring Hill Suites Female Athlete of the Week is Kaylee Schmidt. Schmidt, a sophomore middle hitter on the SVSU volleyball team, helped the Cardinals get a weekend sweep over Lake Superior State and Northwood. Schmidt registered a match-high 11 kills while hitting at a .474 clip against the Lake Superior State Lakers on Friday, 10/24. She recorded 2 blocks in the contest as well. The sophomore would continue her stellar play with another impressive performance on Saturday, 10/25, against GLIAC rival Northwood. She recorded 9 kills on 15 attempts, hitting .533, and added 2 blocks defensively. The Cardinals are 13-8 overall and 9-4 in the GLIAC this year. They return to action on Tuesday, 10/28 at 7 p.m. in the Cardinal Gym against Wayne State in a final home regular contest of the year before traveling for a pair of matchups this weekend. On Friday, 10/31, SVSU squares off against the Huskies of Michigan Tech and will then conclude the weekend with a contest against the Northern Michigan Wildcats on Saturday, 11/1. Kaylee Schmidt, your Spring Hill Suites Female Athlete of the Week.
Welcome back to SVSU Red Alert. I'm JJ Boehm, joined by SVSU Defensive Coordinator Adam Gonzaga. And Adam, obviously this game, meant a lot to a lot of people for a lot of reasons, but for you in particular, you spent 5 years on the staff at Northwood with Coach Rietma, so I know this one, probably particularly satisfying.
Well, it is, because there's not a whole lot of coaches that can say that they've had the axe on both sides of the field. And, it was very exciting to play against a team that you know a lot about. They know a lot about you. We're very good friends. Their staff and I are very good friends. And to go out there and play such a close game and, come up with a win, it was great. It was great.
How did you feel about your unit's performance? Because again, you never want to see big plays against you. Northwood did hit you for 2 big plays, but they really weren't able to put together some of those traditional sustained drives that Northwood likes to put together and that the option is kind of built around.
Well, what I'm really pleased with was that our young men defensively stuck with the game plan. We had a game plan. We did not deviate from it. The 2 big plays, one of them was a blown coverage and the other one, Coach Rietma made an adjustment. He knew what was coming, and we ran it, and he had an answer for it by, running a shallow route across the field that we were not in great position to cover, and, kept them in it. But the way our guys performed by sticking to the game plan, and probably the most exciting thing was that they finished. We've had some issues at the end of the game, not finishing drives or plays, and the one thing that they're able to do is finish, and that's what we're most pleased about.
And it seemed as though you were able to do some good things when Northwood did. They hit the 2 big plays in the past game, but you were also able to get some big sacks and get some good pressure on the quarterback, and also came up with a key interception in the end zone.
Well, I'll tell you what, we have a couple young coaches that break down everything. There's every little detail, and that was a big help, having those young guys, break down every detail. So, the rest of the coaching staff could overlook it. And we were able to make some adjustments. And so we just kind of went off their percentages, kind of hoping that they were going to stick to what they usually do. And for the most part, they did. And so we were able to execute because we had the information ahead of time to be able to execute the game plan.
And again, it seemed like there weren't many big runs. And I would think that that's everybody at every level doing their job, because that's what you need to do against an option football team.
Being that I'd been there for 5 years, and me and Pat having a lot of discussions about things I don't like and things I did like, I didn't share this with anybody, but I was pretty concerned about their run game, what their capabilities were. And once again, I go back to we had a game plan, and our young men fit it to a T, and they executed and took care of the things that we need to take care of. We'd have liked to have stopped a couple more, but the ones that needed to be stopped got stopped, and I give all the credit to the guys and their preparation for this game.
And obviously, beyond that game now, we're 8 weeks into the season, your first season as the defensive coordinator for this team. How would you evaluate the way that they have developed as the season has progressed?
Well, obviously we would all like them to develop a lot faster. That is not the case, but I think when you're putting in a new defense and you have a different philosophy, and you've got, as we've discussed before, a lot of different players, getting involved, I would say the progress has been steady, but it's been positive. I like the way they're progressing, because each week we're identifying a new player that's taken a big step. And we've had some guys on the D-line who have taken big steps. We've had a few guys, at the corner position, Trayvon Hamilton taking a gigantic step, not getting, beat by some of the passes that plagued him early in the year. He's corrected it. Chris Travis, one of our defensive tackles, who, freshman, didn't have any playing experience, comes in this year, and he's as productive as anybody up front. He's hidden because he's a big tackle and he's lurking inside, but he's making providing a lot of opportunities for other players to make plays because of the things that he's doing up front.
So again, a lot of those guys developing. Hopefully that continues here over the final 3 weeks. Coach Gonzaga, thanks for joining us, and good luck.
Thank you.
And when we come back, I'll be joined by SVSU swimming and diving coach Bruce Zimmerman. That's next on SVSU Red Alert. Welcome back to SVSU Red Alert. I'm JJ Boehm, joined now by SVSU swimming and diving coach Bruce Zimmerman. And coach, season, at least the competitive portion of your season, now getting started, it's underway. Talk about, first of all, how your team has done in their early meets, but then also what it's been like for you to really establish a program from scratch.
Well, we're really excited with where the team is right now. We have 14 girls on the team, and we've had 5 competitions to date. Our first meet 2 weeks ago was against Malone and Tiffin, 2 conference schools. Very evenly matched programs, and we thought the meet would go right down to the wire, maybe the last relay, but our girls really stepped up, performed well, and we had the meet under control with a few events to go. So the girls had a lot of pressure on them in that home opener, first meet, of the program, and a lot of pressure. Everybody's eyes were on them, and they really responded well. I was really proud of them. We had a weekend off from competition, and this past weekend we swam Lake Erie and Ursuline, both conference schools, for swimming, and we performed well, not as well as our home opener, but well enough to win. And then we traveled over to Urbana, another Division II school, with some very strong swimmers, and performed well again there. So we started out 5-0, which is pretty exciting for a brand new program. We've got a stretch of 3 competitions in front of us that will really test our mettle. This Saturday we swim 2 very strong Division III schools in Calvin and Alma. They're full squads. They have 25 to 30 girls on each, so we're outnumbered a little bit in both cases, but what we have matches up well with what they have, and we think we can be very competitive. And if we can come out with 2 more wins this Saturday, it'll be pretty exciting.
What has it been like for you to get this team up and running? Because, majority of your swimmers and your divers then obviously are freshmen because you're just starting the program. So what has it been like for you to now try to put all of this together and then finally get to see them do it in the pool?
Well, we do have 2 sophomores and 1 junior on the team, but from an NCAA eligibility standpoint, they are all freshmen. This is their first year competing at the collegiate level. So it's been a very, very steep learning curve for all of them. We've got some talent, we've got some skill on the team, and last year the biggest challenge was obviously getting the word out that we had a program, and getting out there and trying to recruit the best student athletes that we can find. We got a late start in that process with my coming on board in October, and recruiting for high school seniors starts way back when they're juniors. We've got a really good group of high school seniors that we're recruiting right now. Our signing period starts November 12th for the early signing in our sport, and so we're hoping that we're going to see a lot of really good new faces on the program next year. The girls work really hard. We've developed a really great chemistry in the team. They support each other. Their work ethic is excellent. We have a lot of mistakes to improve on, and a long way to go to get to the competitive level we want to get to, but we're on our way.
And what do you need to do between now and when the conference season picks up after the first of the year?
Well, right now we've got to continue to improve on the little mistakes that we keep making. The girls work hard, they're training well, their conditioning level is substantially better than it was when we started training back at the end of August when school started. So really it's fine-tuning the little things that takes a lot of time and a lot of repetition to improve on those. A tiny little mistake on an event like a 50 free can be the difference between winning and losing an event. The longer swims, if your turns aren't good, that can amount to a half a second slowdown on every turn, and on 1,000 free you've got 39 turns. That's a lot of time, and so we're working on that. It takes a lot of mental focus and concentration to do that every day in practice, and then ultimately when it becomes instinctive, we'll see that in their performances in the pool. So we've got a lot of work to do, a lot of improvements to make, but our conference championships aren't until mid-February, and that's the big meet that we focus on for our top performances. And then if we're fortunate enough to have anybody qualify for the NCAA championships, those are in mid-March.
Well, hopefully all of this continues to progress and continues to build, and we wish you and the team good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you very much.
That's Bruce Zimmerman, the swimming and diving coach here at SVSU. When we come back, I'll be rejoined by SVSU football coach Jim Collins. That's next on SVSU Red Alert.
This week's Spring Hill Suites Male Athlete of the Week is Joey Southgate. Southgate, a junior on the SVSU men's cross-country team, led the Cardinals at the Eastern Michigan University Fall Classic on Friday, 10/24. Southgate crossed the finish line in 10th place with a time of 15:22.3. It was the second top 10 finish for the junior this year as he finished in 10th place at the Lucien Rosa Invitational on October 11th. The Cardinals returned to action November 8th to compete in the GLIAC Championships hosted by Tiffin University in Tiffin, Ohio. The race is scheduled to begin at 11:45 a.m. Joey Southgate, your Spring Hill Suites Male Athlete of the Week.
Welcome back to SVSU Red Alert. I'm JJ Bain, rejoined by SVSU football coach Jim Collins. And coach, your team gets the big win over Northwood. Now you got to go on the road to Hillsdale, a team identical to SVSU record-wise.
You know, it's going to be a great challenge for us. As I told our team this morning, you know, we were able to feed off the energy of our homecoming crowd, big game, 8,000 fans rooting for us. Now we've got to go into a hostile territory. It's going to be a different environment, day game. So we've got to be able to respond to this challenge. And, you know, we've got to start with a great week of practice, great week of preparation, and then go in and play with the same sense of urgency and desire that we had this past weekend.
And Hillsdale, again, a team record similar. It also seems, I mean, not having seen them play, but just kind of watching the season, the way it's unfolded for them, it's also a team that seems to, at least when they're struggling, they struggle to score points.
You know, it's interesting. I think across the conference, there's been some offensive performances that haven't been what anyone would have expected. You know, Hillsdale's usually scored a lot of points, but they've had a few games this year where they haven't, and they've been stopped. And it comes down to making plays, JJ. And, you know, you've got to have a quarterback and receiver and a running back group that's capable of making plays. And then your line's got to protect for you. And if you're not scoring points, you're usually not executing at the degree you need to execute. So Hillsdale's, they've got plenty of offensive weapons. They've got good people. And I said, they've ran into some good defenses that have stopped them. So, you know, we're expecting a Hillsdale team that's going to be well prepared, well coached, and ready to execute.
And I know they're one of the teams that, again, historically have been very good on third down. They have a lot of different misdirection packages. They've got a lot of rollouts for the tight end, all those kinds of things. So another challenge, I would think, for the defense in terms of making sure that they maintain their assignments.
Exactly. You know, the difference between an option team and a play action team isn't very much. You've got to be disciplined. You've got to understand that they're going to try to draw your defense up and hit the big one over your heads, or draw your linebackers in and try to throw the ball to the flats. They've always been very good at the bootleg pass, the naked pass, and then once in a while that surprise deep pass in play action. So once again, no different than last week. Have to be very sound and disciplined on the defensive side of the ball, especially in the secondary. And then we've got to score points. We've got to take advantage of opportunities and score points on offense.
And on offense, one of the things that, again, we talked about Tyler Palka, and again, he's still learning as a quarterback, as a redshirt freshman, but when the read option wasn't there and Northwood clearly was trying to take that away in the run game, he was able to then make some of the big plays in the pass game, because you don't know what a defense is going to give you on a week-to-week, so you've got to be able to be that dual threat.
You know, I thought that's a great point, because I thought Tyler did a great job of being patient, of understanding. And there was a couple times we had pass plays called, not just the one he scored on, but you know, a couple others where he took off and ran because nobody was open. And then there were times where we had some good play action call and we had guys open and he was able to hit them. So it's going to be a balance of things with Tyler. I think his ability to run the football, the ability for our running backs to maintain and sustain drives, and then to be able to hit the big one when it's there, take what they're giving you, and then still execute on third down. So it's the full gamut. He did a good job of it this past Saturday, but he's going to be challenged again by Hillsdale's defense. So he's got to be able to repeat that performance and improve on it.
Hopefully he can repeat his performance. Hopefully the Cardinals as a team can repeat their performance and get back-to-back victories. Coach, good luck against Hillsdale.
Thanks, JJ.
That's SVSU football coach Jim Collins. I'm JJ Bain, and we hope you have enjoyed this edition of SVSU Red Alert.